Hey Cancer, this one's for you. Wow. Yeah, we're just going to go for it. All right, Cancer? I don't know if you can hear that crazy wild parrot in the background, but I can. Anyway, so Cancer, this is you. Hi. This is Tarot Lumination, okay? And there is a .com as well. And this is your love and relationship report for May 2017. It's a first for us here at Tarot Illumination. I've been very shy about doing personal love relationship reports because of my own sense of incompetence. But we're going for it anyway, just for giggles, all right? Now also, Cancer, don't forget the usual routine like you do already. Watch for your sun and moon and rising, and then mush it all together into one big understanding, okay, that we can't do here just on this little, channel, okay? Next, I would like to invite you to watch the 13th video, I believe. It's the one for like an overview for everybody. It mostly talks about the planets and things that affect everybody. It's not just about you. So, let's see. Another thing. In doing this little love and relationship report, I had to make some decisions. So I decided I'm going to come to it from the perspective that we're dealing with a significant other, okay? Somebody who's really important to you. Or if you don't have that person, the energy vortex is still there because you're kind of creating a relationship as you go along anyway, simply because of the energy field that you radiate, whether you're aware of it or not. So in the context of relationship, I'm also letting you know that I come from the understanding that there's you over here, there's the other over here, and then there's the relationship over here, which is a completely separate entity. It has a life and identity, all of its own. And it likes to be nurtured and cared for just like you do for yourself and your other does for themselves. You look after the relationship will look after you. So in other words, you're not constantly in a codependent state of leaning on the other, or the other always leaning on you, expecting this, expecting that, wanting this, wanting that, not getting this, not getting that. Instead, focus on the relationship itself. What can you bring to the table? What can they bring to the table for us? Instead of, what am I getting out of you? What are you trying to get out of me? Kind of thing, okay? Which is kind of very, 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 very limited perspective. All right, I just wanted to get all that out there, okay, before we actually start the reading. So, I already did a lot of shuffling in advance, but we're taking it right up to the very last second, just so that you got a clear, nice clear deck, all right? We don't do any flyers, we don't do any jumpers, we don't do any reversals. It's just stripped down, bare bone tarot, okay? That's all it is. All right. So there you go, Cancer. That was lovely. Thank you. Have a lovely May. Bye. Just kidding. I had to do that. I don't know why. It's awful. I didn't mean to shock you. I just felt like having a bit of tease fun. Okay, so I cut it. You witnessed. It was cut. All right? So here we go. Here's you, Cancer. Here's the other. Okay? Going deeper, what's going on inside you? Hopes and fears, disabilities, assets, considerations. And it's the same for the other person as well, you know? And then here's the relationship itself. Woo! Okay. And this is a sort of status report on the relationship. And as you can see here, we have a crucible, okay? This is the crucible of relationship in which the two parties willingly or maybe unwillingly submit themselves to the energy of being inside of a crucible. And a crucible is something that is designed to withstand phenomenal amounts of stress and energy as the entities that get poured into the crucible do what they do. It's like a grinding process. Like when you're polishing stones, you put in these rough rocks and they go through a tumbler. And it's very, very painful for the rock if you can imagine all these harsh edges being scraped off of you. But in the end, you come out as a beautiful gem. Okay, so that's kind of what happens in the crucible of relationship here. So it isn't all sweetness and candy all day, every day. It includes the idea that these two people are actually rubbing up against each other in more ways than one, which includes scraping off all the barnacles and crap that exist on the other in order to help the other to shine and evolve and to grow. Okay, so it requires a lot of love. Okay, so where does this lead? Okay, let's have a look. And in the background, what have we got? Wow. Okay. Okay, let's just say that in the background, this is like the weather of what is like around you in this particular little reading for this particular aspect of your relationship, where it's just an energy field, okay? And the energy field could be something that you have invoked because you might be one of these super highly evolved people who can like almost generate your own weather. Or it could be just simply what's out the side the front door of your relationship. Like, oh, wow, what's out there? Oh, I see. Okay, it's sunny, it's rainy, it's cold, it's wet, it's harsh, it's tumultuous, it's benign, it's beautiful, whatever it is. And you've got the Fool. So this is indicating for me to tell you that you are entering into a beautiful new phase where anything and everything can happen. So you have the maximum, the absolute maximum amount of opportunity and goodness available to you. And the question then becomes like, can you maintain that blind innocence, that sense of total utter surrender to continuously sublimate yourself into the relationship where it isn't all just about you and it isn't all just about the other, it's about us. And how is this working for us? Because it's like a spectacular new journey in case you've never related to people that way before. But this is your opportunity, okay? May of 2017 might be a really golden time for you to experience a whole new level of relationship that you didn't even know existed before, only it's happening now because you've got this far. Now, again, if you've already got a long-standing relationship, fine. If it's something new, fine. If it's something that doesn't exist yet, fine. We're still talking about the energy field, the energy inside the relationship, okay? And this is your reading, Cancer. It's not about the other person. This is your reading for you and your perspectives on the relationship that you own and share with the other. So what's going on? Well, okay. So there's no messing around here, Cancer. There's a lot of what might be called destiny type energy going on here in your love and relationship dynamics in this life, in this month, in this year, right now, where you might be getting a sniff or a glimpse of your own power, or maybe a desire to rise up to this much ownership and power in the context of relationship, where you're getting a whiff of like, oh my God, oh my God, I always knew it. I always knew that there was a whole new dimension to relationship that I didn't know before in a three-dimensional manner, but now I can see the possibilities. And in that condition, in that situation, in the crucible of my relationship with this other person, I can see that it's very, very empowering, not only for myself, but also for the other and for the relationship itself. This is very much to do with coming into your own power, Cancer. And it might have been just almost by accident, just getting this amazing awakening like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was possible. Now, don't be shy about this. It's important to understand that with great power comes great responsibility. So you just can't go stomping around the place saying, oh, I've figured it all out, everybody. Watch this, watch me. I've got it locked down. And I am in absolute total control of everything around me. And I own it and I am the boss of everything. We're not talking about that kind of energy here. Yes, this is an emperor dynamic, and it's very, very masculine. It's very powerful. It's very strong. And the emperor didn't get to where he is by just being a little pansy. Okay, the emperor typically is willing to exercise and execute power in very, very subtle or very, very blunt ways, if necessary, according to whatever needs to be done to rise up to this level of dominion and ownership in their world. So it doesn't matter if you're a male or female watching this. It's very much about tapping into a sense of of like complete complete ownership, like being the ultimate, the boss of you and your life, but not in any kind of way that implies bossiness. It's just coming into complete dominion. Okay. Now, it could also imply that there's a lot that still needs to be learned, okay? If you're aware of this energy, you're also very, very aware of what is out of alignment at the same time, okay? So again, with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility, Cancer. So be very, 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 very judicious and responsible in how you express your power in these relationships, because just the slightest erroneous action in your thoughts, your words, your deeds, your behavior, whether it's openly expressed or like subliminally expressed, like whatever they call that stuff, passive aggressive behavior, it's still an expression of power. Okay, so what's going on with the other? Whoa, okay. So in the context of this relationship, whether it's relationships in general or one person in particular, dear Cancer, you may be encountering an amazing opportunity to experience and understand, like, it's almost like the fundamental laws of the universe, the truth of the universe, not just love and relationships, but how the essence of love, as we learn and discover in the context of relationship, comes to remind us with the blazing awakening of truth that love is all there is, people. Notice there is no cup card here. There's nothing to do with love cards at all. This is about revelations and epiphany, understanding at the most highly advanced levels, the truth about what actually is. What actually is in a relationship. And this is coming through in a very, 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 very pure and innocent way in the context of relationship, okay? So it might be a very strange experience in terms of the three-dimensional aspect of the relationship, because we're dealing with just a lot of power and energy here, and we're not talking about the nuts and bolts day-to-day stuff like, hey, honey, have you had time to clear out the minivan? I mean, I'm sick of all the crap everywhere and the kids and the shit they leave all over the place. Oh, I don't know. Well, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. You're going to take care of that stuff anyway. If you love them and they love you. And if you love them a lot, you might be forgiving, okay, to understand that maybe it's just overwhelming to do everything that needs to be done all at once, all at the same time. And that might be the truth of the situation. We're talking more about like the absolute raw vibrational energies that occur at the very core of relationship. Not saying your relationship or theirs or what. I'm talking about the energy of relationship. In other words, what actually happens inside the crucible of relationship. And it's becoming very, very apparent that a lot more goes on than you ever thought of before. It's almost like kaboom, wow. With this person, whoever this person is, they essentially, because this is your reading, Cancer, okay? This is your reading. It's all about you. But in the context of the other, you may be relating to another who embodies the energy of divine sacred opportunity to become aware of the truth of what really, really goes on. So this person could be truly a blessing to you, Cancer. This person who carries this energy within them as a gift to you. And it might come across in ways that might be like shocking or weird or unexpected, because you might feel so good about things already. And yet it's almost like the deeper you go, the more you come across the sharper and tinier and more deadly and more painful aspects of relationship that were buried for so long you didn't even know how destabilizing they could be. Just like the tiniest little flaw. Like let's pretend, see this little tiny stone here? Let's just pretend, this is just a pure white crystal, okay? Let's just pretend this is the relationship, okay? And you've always realized that this is an amazingly beautiful thing, okay? I know it doesn't look like much, but really, just pretend that. And in the process of relating, you've looked down deep inside and you realized, oh my God, it's flawed. Look, there's a hairline crack right in the middle. Oh my gosh. No wonder I felt this. No wonder I felt that. Oh, no. But that's the beauty of it. That's the whole beauty of relationship, is the understanding that we are flawed, and it's the flaws can actually be beautiful because you can see them as gifts, whereby becoming aware of the flaws, whatever they call that in people, like a beauty mark, like in a supermodel, like all the other women who read the magazines are looking for that fatal flaw, which makes her human. Okay? I'm talking about girls here, but guys do the same thing. If you're like a gym rat or you worship like I don't know, Muscle Man Mags or something, it really helps to understand that these larger than life impressions that we have of ourselves and each other are actually flawed. And then it's a relief. It's just like, oh, thank God. So now I don't have to live up to the expectation of 100% perfection. All right? So it might be coming as a relief to you. So be grateful that this energy of blinding new truth is coming at you, Cancer. Even if it's painful, even if it's uncomfortable, it might be absolutely deliciously exciting. Let's have a look. Let's have a look deeper. What is going on? Ooh, Cancer. Okay, we have more cards of destiny here. Okay, we got the full like general surroundings. We got you at like in in a position of radiance and power. But as you go deeper into the relationship aspects, you might be discovering that you might be the reality of what you thought was a relationship is actually a slight variation on relationship, which might be called like some extremely subtle and deeply buried form of codependency, where it really isn't the healthy form of relationship like this would be. In other words, there's you, Cancer, there's the other, okay, that's fine, and here is the relationship itself, okay? As you live through this crucible of relationship where you're sharing so much of yourself with another, giving so much power, receiving so much power, and receiving so much truth and blinding new awakenings, you might be discovering that even in your best, most empowered self, there are still deeply buried issues of things uh, like ego energies that have gone out of whack. In other words, lust, uh, addictions, expectations, codependency, very deeply powerful karmic links that feel almost unbreakable. Going back to childhood, going back to past lives or past multiple past lives, even extending into future lives, where there is this intense sense of bondage. Now you can look at bondage as a form of like crippling uh, imprisonment, like being held by chains, or you could also treat this experience as like having a chance to explore and taste all the delicious taboo aspects of relationship that most people would condemn. In other words, in this relationship, yes, yes, there may be problems. Maybe you're avoiding issues. Maybe you're struggling to understand that even in your best efforts and wishes and most loving self, dear Cancer, you are struggling with aspects of relationship that keep you in bondage with another and keep another in bondage with you in some ways that are not healthy, but in some ways that are also extremely deliciously satisfying. And that can be part of the human condition of being in relationship anyway. For example, if you enjoy really delicious, let's just call it intimate encounters with another person, to the point where it's just so overwhelmingly satisfying that it becomes something that you have to have, and without it it feels debilitating, then love turns into lust, okay? And craving, it's like a highly addictive craving. And from my perspective as your reader, dear Cancer, I don't see a problem with this at all. um, It's just how you interpret it, because so many people are terrified, let's just call it, of the sexual current, because it can almost feel like it owns you. It owns your life. It's something that a lot of people crave, that they don't understand. It's almost like in the desire for people to come together and experience total union. As much as we might want it, it can be absolutely terrifying as well. That's why there are so many issues of sexual abuse that go on across the whole planet, because that energy is just raw energy. It's just a question of how is it expressed, how is it conducted in the context of relationship. Is it a truly loving exchange of energy where it becomes ecstatic and beautifully empowering and enlightening to the other, or is the energy being abused and um, for things like self-gratification and for other purposes, like holding a person addicted? For example, I mean, I'm really stretching it here, Cancer, but if you know you have a very delicious aspect to your relationship, maybe you just love getting drunk together or getting high, or maybe you smoke weed together or pop ecstasy or whatever it is you do, and that's your big turn on, and secretly you know that maybe it's not altogether healthy, but it is damn good fun. And that's just what you might be living through now. And it might be that it's okay to do that. Like, a lot of people might be jealous, might think, oh my God, they seem to be so happy and they seem so obscenely, deliciously, romantically in love. But, sometimes other people can spot it as like, oh, they're absolutely like gorging each other. They're hooked on like the physical aspects to the point where everyone else can see that you're going to burn out. So that's not cool. All right? There's no judgment here. With the devil card, sometimes I see it as like excuse me, people, if you don't mind, I am going to live my life because it is my life. And if you want to judge me and condemn me because I'm doing all the things that you secretly want to do, and I have all the things that you secretly want to have, I might have a very deliciously, compellingly ecstatic love life. And I love that, okay? And I'm not ashamed of it. And you might interpret that as bondage, and my other half might interpret that in bondage now and again, like feeling like, oh, I wish I didn't have to be so intimate with that person, and yet it is so yummy and healing and liberating. In other words, but that's part of the human nature of relationship. It's polarity. And sometimes it's scary to be in relationship because of these issues here, the raw energy of intimacy. All right, what's going on with them? Oh, okay. Well, they might actually be enjoying this. Okay, they might be actually getting turned on by the whole aspect of, let's just call it the sensual aspect of the relationship. I'm not calling it the love side or like the supreme high vibration kind of love, but just the feeling of love, loving and being loved. They might be bringing a lot of love to this, where let's just call it out, people, where you get the whole love contrasting with lust dynamic that often occurs in relationships, where like you become deliciously attracted to each other, like you can't keep your hands off each other. You just like, I can't wait. We got to do it again, honey. That was fantastic. I want more. I want more. I want more. It makes me so happy. I love this. I love this. Yeah, so do I. Wow. But you know, you don't want to get drunk on each other, okay? You don't want to like gorge on each other to the point where it's like you're literally addicted, like you're like love junkies on each other, okay? Because that kind of constitutes like burnout. But from what I can tell here in this little reading, um, it's actually kind of delicious, okay? And this other person, dear Cancer, may be actually really enjoying this aspect of relationship because it may have been missing or lacking. In other words, it's just like, oh my God, like, I don't know if you like, okay, dear Cancer, I'm just going to kind of go out there. Like sometimes, like if people have never tasted like three-dimensional love where it actually works, like, oh my God, this part works, this part works, this part works, and we're happy. We're like, we've checked all the boxes. Every one of these little boxes like works, and it even includes the love life, the romance, the physical aspects, the sexuality, and you think, my God. So it really is true. There is such a thing as ecstatic union. And it feels so obscenely good that I'm almost ashamed of it. Like, it's like admitting I'm a junkie, okay? But that's both parties here. What I'm sensing here is that both parties are experiencing this as almost one thing, okay? Love and lust. And it's ecstatic. And it's almost so good. It's almost shameful. Like, oh, it can't be that good. I must be a love junk. I must be addicted. There must be something wrong here. But from the other person's perspective, dear Cancer, this is absolutely just beautiful. And it's just being accepted for what it is happiness. So Cancer, you might be struggling inside yourself, trying to understand what is actually going on. And it's really taking you into whole new dimensions of what love and relationship may be. And you just happen to be lucky enough to be relating to someone who kind of gets it and understands, and they're willing to go there with you. They're willing to be on that journey with you, okay? Because they're getting off on it themselves in their own way, okay? And that's their business, okay? It's like, it's nothing to do with you, Cancer. That's just them being them, and you're just living through your dynamics. But wow, it could feel pretty good for them. And if it's not, and that they're discovering that's what I've been missing and that's what I want, because now I've got a taste of it, I don't want anything less, then that's cool too for the other person. So what's the status of the relationship? Well, it's a big wake-up call. It's sparking a lot of passion and ambition about, oh my God, it's almost like if I had only known this before. But remember, this is for you. This is the relationship Cancer. This is your reading, Cancer, about you for your relationship with another soul over here, okay, this person here. But in the context of the relationship, this is the status of the relationship itself, which both of you are party to, okay? So with this little card here, it indicates like ambitions, possibilities, passion, looking forward to something new, this new journey that seems to be unfolding right now. The possibilities are amazing, okay? And you're getting a glimpse of it in a tangible way that lets you see like there's a whole possible new world ahead for you. We're talking about the relationship dynamic. I'm not talking about the actual people. We're talking about the energy inside the relationship here. Okay, so the status here of where you guys are is that you're looking at tremendous opportunity, tremendous potential, and that requires like being very conscientious about the decisions that you make, because right now, at these very, very early stages of this relationship dynamic, everything, the way it unfolds from this very, very early stage of relationship depends on the decisions that you make together. Okay? Like if you're on a journey, okay, and here you are on this journey, and this is you holding the steering wheel, you're sharing the steering wheel of your journey with the other person, and you realize, wow, this is amazing. What are we going to do with all of this? And they go kind of, well, what about if we do this? And it leans over here, and you say, well, okay, but what about if we do this? And it kind of goes over here, and they kind of go, okay, yeah, but let's just work out something that takes it right here. And then you start to realize that, you see this little point here, right here? You just take one slight variation this way or that way, and this slight variation here leads to an outcome way over here. You take a slight variation here, it leads to an outcome way over here. So just imagine what happens when you start going like this. It goes way, way over here, or way, way over here. So it's like both of you are coming to a realization that you have something potentially amazing and wonderful and delicious, but with all of that comes a lot of responsibility, because there's a lot of power and joy and love and just raw, lustful, delicious happiness that can go with this relationship. And that's the truth. But what are you going to do with it? Where could it possibly lead? So with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, Cancer? We've said this before in other readings. I think you understand what we're talking about. So it's important to be very judicious and responsible in your relationship dynamics with the other person. Okay, Cancer? Invite them to share this with you. Ask them to watch this reading and observe you. Okay? So where does this lead you guys? Okay, well, it's again more on a new journey of touching into, like, I'm just going to call it out, the passionate aspects of relationship, where you become inspirations to yourself and to each other. This is a very, very, like, it's one of those things, the better it gets type of energy. But it requires tremendous, like, honor and respect and love, okay? And it requires finding a really good balance between the energies of, like, just raw human lust, whoa, over here, and pure happiness and love over here. And they can feel almost the same at the same time, especially when you're in a condition of ecstatic union. Then it's almost like these two cards become one, okay? And that freaks people out, okay? It's almost they become ashamed to be multi-orgasmic or something, okay? Anyway, the potential about this is that by being responsible with all this energy and power and opportunity, and being willing to head off in this new direction, it opens you, both of you, and the relationship, yourselves and each other, to whole new levels of passion and awareness and opportunity, not only to yourselves, but for others. It's almost like you could be a radiant example for others, you know, to, like, get in touch with your passions, understand the dynamics of lust versus love, because we're willing to do it, and it's fun and it's exciting, okay? But we're not going to let it ruin our lives, okay? Anyway, I hope that makes sense, Cancer. We're going to do this now. We did it for the others. We're going to do it for you. This is the Romance Angels deck, okay? There's really no substitute from what I've learned. So we're just going to do it. We're just going to pull one little card, and it's kind of a topper. It's just a little, another perspective. You don't have to take it seriously, or just interpret this however you would like. It's up to you, Cancer. This is your reading. It's for you. You can reinterpret this thing in any way, shape, or form that your little heart desires. Now, I shuffled these a lot earlier, but I'm doing it again so that you are a witness, okay? And I'm not taking the same card and just flapping it back and forth over the top, okay? It's a real live shuffle, all right? So let's have a look. Once we got your card, I'm going to read to you from the little book. Woo! Okay. You want to start again? Okay, I see it. I see it. You trying to fool me? Is there one? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Oh, it's a trick. I swear to God, it's a trick. Look at that. I know there's an. I know it. I know there's another card there. Look, it's the one underneath. Hold on. Excuse me. I knew it. Okay, here it is. This is the little card. I had to unglue them. They were stuck. It was probably some little bits of grit or sweat from my hands from an earlier shuffle. Here we go. You see, it's very sweet. It's very beautiful. It says, make the effort. Okay? Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay? So it is very, 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 very much about the journey. It is very much on the understanding that you are guided and you are protected. It's almost like the energy of heaven is smiling on you and hoping you will take up this journey and make the effort and be an example to others to show what happens when you actually put the work into your relationship and you're not scared of the passion and the energies that flow. Okay, let's go. Let's find it. Okay, here we are. Make the effort. Okay, this is for you, Cancer, and then we're done. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. All right, Cancer, let's have a look. You received this card because some action steps on your part are necessary in order for your prayers about your love life to be answered. The angels have opened the doors for you, and now it's time for you to walk through them. The first thing that comes to mind with respect to taking action is a good starting place for you. The very first thing. So what is that? When you ask for spiritual help, you always receive it. Often this help comes in the form of intuitive guidance, which consists of repetitive feelings and thoughts and experiences. You get the sense that you should do this or that. You receive this card as a nudge to actually take that action. Okay? You'll then receive the next piece of the puzzle, meaning another intuitive message about what to do. It's like a step-by-step process, but you have to put the work in. You have to be willing to put yourself in a state of risk and open the heart. I added that myself. If you like, you can ask the angels to give you the motivation, the courage, the time, and the energy to take these steps. And know that each one brings you closer upon the pathway to great love. Okay? I'm just going to add something there because making the effort literally points to the energy of work. Relationships take work. Okay? It's extending yourself beyond everything that you take for advantage already. But look at that. Just look at that. It's worth it, people. That is love, love, love. At least that's how I look at it. This is very much how I like to conceive of love. Okay, so I'm going to leave this with you, dear Cancer. I'm not even going to take it down from the screen. I'm just going to show it like this until the end of the video. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, this is beautiful, Cancer. Bye. Have a super May.